everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Wellness Vibes. Welcome to Thealchemistpoet. Welcome on IG at Wellness Vibes.
Welcome to Roots Rocks. Welcome to the Roots of Wisdom community that's joining us here on IG.
Hello.
Welcome to all of Sonia's community that's here with us.
Yes, welcome.
I'm so happy to be here.
So happy to be here. It's a beautiful, breezy Tuesday in Little Bern, Georgia, where we are recording live here at Wellness Vibes.
Right next to Stone Mountain, there's a big quartz energy generator right outside of our building. So we are bringing in the energies strong and bright here today.
Yes. So I'm going to introduce myself, and Tina's going to introduce herself as well, because we are actually streaming live on a couple of different platforms. And may not know everybody that's on there. You may not know me. I am Nabila Sonia Thames. Everybody calls me Sonia.
Shake your roots, Raj, for Sonia.
Thank you. I am a holistic health wellness practitioner, massage therapist, sound healer, just a lot of things wellness and holistic health oriented in the Atlanta area. And this is my friend
Tina Roots, yes, and we have crossed paths here at Wellness Vibes. I was brought over to Sonia through my brother, Kid Roots, and ever since I met her, we have dove into all things spiritual, all things healing, all kinds of things.
All kinds
have started to happen since I have joined this studio and started to work with you.
Yes, all kinds of shadow work, all kinds of body work, all kinds of healing work and activations.
And lots of activations happening, and Sonia has been the witness of these activations.
Oh my goodness, wow. It feels like we've been connected for longer than a year. Has it been a year? Maybe less than that.
Probably a little less than a year.
Probably a little less than a year.
It feels like we've known each other much longer.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of the beauties of this work, is that my clients become my family. They become like friends and family, but it's a different kind of family connection. It's so cool. And I'm so grateful for you, Tina.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you as well. And I want everyone to know, as well as you to know, that ever since we started working together, the stuff that kind of has been coming through has even surprised me, has even surprised Sonia as the facilitator of the healings. Like, oh, this is new stuff coming from me.
Yes.
And we really had to be in a state of acceptance and receptivity
and openness
to receive this information as it came through.
Yes.
Very often my ego would come in and be like, no, this isn't the way life works.
Yeah. But life is so unpredictable. But anyway, we are here today hanging out, and we were having this conversation earlier, and we thought, why don't we share this with you guys, our friends, our fans who are into wellness, into spirituality, who are curious, who are not curious, but you just happen to be on. Welcome. We were having this conversation today about self-acceptance and self-love, right? You guys put it in the chat, please. Is this something that maybe you struggle with? Are there aspects of self-understanding, self-acceptance, and self-love that you struggle with? Put it in the comments.
Please share with us. This has definitely been something that I've been struggling with. Yeah, so let me know if you're struggling with this as well. Anyone in the Roots Rocks community here, I am open to receive.
Okay. So where do we begin with this conversation?
Well, I remember I was asking you right before we got started, how you got to this place of such deep self-acceptance and to a place where you just allow and embrace everything in your journey, and you share it so openly with the public, and you don't really care what other people think. And I've always been so inspired by that. So I'm just like, did you do inner work to get here? How did you get to a place where you can just be yourself so boldly and so truthfully?
Wow. So it's been a journey. It has been a very interesting journey. For some people, traumatic situations kind of force them into this kind of self-questioning, self-discovery. And
comment below if that's you.
Yes, please do, because we're all figuring it out, and some of us have figured some things out. And so because of that, and because of naturally being an intuitive person, a healer-oriented person, wanting to help people always feel better, be better, enjoy life better. I'm someone who's always been inclined in that direction. And also a people pleaser by nature. And those are a couple of qualities that if that's you.
You're a recovering people pleaser.
Right, recovering people pleasers. I still am a people pleaser. I love pleasing people because the foundation underneath that is that I want people to feel good. But I realized over the years how much of my self-value, self-worth, I was sacrificing in exchange for that. And I didn't realize it because it was just the environment where our environment shapes us, our family surroundings, our cultural experience shapes us. And so there are things that just become kind of standard, normal practices. And they're not always necessarily things that feel good, but they're things that help everybody kind of get along, if you know what I mean. So, of course, I had traumatic things happen to me and to my family as well. But the long and short of it is, I've always been curious about what else. This can't be the only thing. This religious structure, this societal structure, it just always felt like something was missing. And there was a deep connection, there was a void, a gap. And for most of us young women, I'm a little older now, but as a young woman in my late teens, what is age, right? But as a younger woman, society in general preps us to be accepted by our fathers and brothers, and then our husbands, if we are married or partners, whatever that might look like. So,
who's married that's out here right now on this live with us? Who's single? Comment. Let us know which path you have chosen for yourself at this time.
So, as a backdrop, as a woman, just in society, many societies in the world in general, we are oriented towards being the caregivers, being the nurturers, being the people pleasers. Most communities, most cultures. And I am of African background. I'm from Cameroon, West Africa, born and raised. Very conservative background. Okay? And there's a lot of nurturing that women bring into the community. But I also witness a lot of self-sacrifice and a lot of self-sabotage. Okay? And I've seen a lot of pain, I've seen a lot of misery as a result of some of the things that we have to give up to be accepted by the family, to be accepted by our community, our friends, our peers. And for a lot of us, it's not till we get a little bit older that we start saying, you know what, I'm just gonna live my life. So if you can relate to any of this, please put it in the comments. While Tina is sharing, I'm going to come over to the screen so I can respond or maybe, bring you into the conversation. So Tina, share a little bit about your self-acceptance journey, like the backdrop.
Ooh. Like, where do I even begin with this? I guess my self-acceptance journey started at a very early age, and I didn't even know it. because I was always looking for love outside of myself. Like, I have a very common theme throughout my life of looking for love outside of myself. So,
how many people can relate to that?
Yes, please comment below if you can relate to looking for love outside of yourself, because I have been there and done that most of my life.
Right. Or not even knowing that there was such a thing within yourself or ourselves as our own pool of love, our own energy flow of love.
It's like
you don't even know it's there, and when you discover it's there, you're plugged it into giving it to everybody else besides yourself.
I feel that deeply. It's like I was always looking for love outside of myself, and I was always giving my love away. It wasn't until I was like 27 actually, when I started realizing like, whoa, I have been giving love to people outside of myself my whole life. I don't actually even know what it's like to love myself, or let me try to experience this. So that was the time when I first had this longing to love myself on a deeper level. It was like I was looking for love outside of myself. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't getting that love in the way that I needed that love.
Right.
So I kept looking, and I kept looking for a new relationship to find that love outside of me.
The next best high.
Yeah, always looking for a high, whether that was through love, whether that was through drugs, whatever the high was, it was kind of a repetitive pattern in life of looking for it outside of myself.
Right.
And I guess that's what brought me to self-acceptance.
Right.
Was seeing that it wasn't gonna happen outside of me.
Right. So the things here that we're sharing are genuine experiences that I'm sure tons of you out there can relate to. And this is not excluding men. I mean, men also experience some of these same challenges because, once again, our environment, our societal flow has a certain expectation. So we're not meaning to exclude the guys here. So if you're a guy on our live, please know that we are including you. However, we are only speaking from the female perspective.
Because we are the women.
We're women, okay?
But I'm here to guide men and women.
Yes. The work we do is for everyone. And our hope and our goal is that you take something from this conversation, and we're going to also do a sound healing meditation at the end of it. Tina is going to share a beautiful poem, and we're going to do some sound healing to help integrate these aspects of self-love and self-acceptance. So, a couple of things I want to mention real quick. What are some ways that we look for this acceptance and approval outside of us? But we don't know that that's what we're doing, right? We might be a serial dater if we're single. We might be a serial cheater if we're married or committed. Because there's always something that other person is not able to totally satisfy or totally get. There are many people who do the same thing with their careers. They hop around. There's like a never totally satisfied, never feeling fulfilled. Okay, sometimes it's even with churches people go to. People join this group, they join that group, they join this group, they join that group. Now, there's nothing wrong with exploring and learning. I love to learn. I love to study different religions, different cultures. I love to hear about it and learn about it. But how quick are you to always totally commit and join in and be accepted by everybody in that circle? If that's something that you are working with and you're constantly unfulfilled, that could be a sign that that pool of love, of self-acceptance as you are, there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum, and nobody can fill that vacuum. Nobody, no deity, no God, no entity outside of you can fill that void. I said it. I know it might raise some brows, it might flare up some opinions, but it is our duty in this body that you currently occupy. Your soul occupies this body in this lifetime because it wants to understand what self-acceptance and self-love is. And this is just Sonia's humble opinion. It might not sound humble, but it is. My humble opinion is that our external experiences and our external environments, our external relationships with friends, family, lovers, partners, kids, co-workers, bosses, and enemies are all there to help shape the experience and the opportunity to love ourselves. When we love ourselves and we accept ourselves, like it's easy to say, I love myself, but do you accept yourself as you are? As we are. That's the challenge. And this is a conversation to spark that thought. Where are those vacuums? Where are those voids? Where are those we're always upset because they didn't do this the way I wanted. That means they don't love me. They didn't show me that means they don't love me. You are the only one who can fill that void by accepting yourself.
Woo! Wow, and that goes hand in hand with something I'm learning right now in my NLP training. And it's like, are you at cause for the situation or are you at effect? Like, are you living in cause or are you living in effect right now? And if you're being affected, then you need to come back into your cause. Like, you are at cause for how you feel right now. So claim that power back. You are at cause. Do not allow yourself to be affected. And it's okay if you're affected.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes affected. So I want to just retract on what I just said right there to say, like, when you do go into an effect state, allow yourself to realize, oh, I'm in a state of being affected right now. How am I at cause for this? Right. Bring yourself back into cause and claim your power back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because if I'm understanding what Tina is sharing, I want to expand a little bit. It's that the things happen around us. Like, we don't necessarily cause an accident. We don't necessarily cause someone to stand us up on a date, right? Sometimes shit happens. But how much of your power are you allowing to be at the effect of it? Like, are you saying now that, man, it's just my luck. I never have luck with such and such. And these are common things we say. I still do. But I hope that this conversation sparks that, why am I always blaming myself for this? Maybe it just happened and I just happened to be here when this happened. But if it keeps happening, that's an opportunity to ask yourself, hey, what am I saying? What vibe am I putting out into the universe that says it's okay to keep standing me up on dates? It's okay to keep cheating on me. It's okay to keep whatever you feel at cause of, right? Cause and effect?
Yeah, spot on. And since you just brought up the car accident example, and this one just aligns with...
Oh, are you going to go there?
I don't want to go too deep into this, but I just want to let you know, anyone who's out here listening, that I have a history of car accidents, or I had a history of car accidents in this lifetime. And it was almost like when I met Sonia, I was in such an effect state. I was so affected by the car accidents. I had become a victim of my accidents because my body wasn't responding the way I wanted it to. I wasn't able to meditate as deeply as I used to be. Like, I was affected by my situation. And working with Sonia really allowed me to kind of just like come to a deeper place of self-acceptance in that. And so I'm really glad you kind of brought that up because that was a big one. The car accidents, like, they really felt like they were my fault because they happened so much, so many times, but like they weren't my fault. But I did have to claim back my power and see where am I at cause for feeling the way I'm feeling and shift that perspective.
Absolutely. So one of the things about self-acceptance that's really subtle, and I mean, I haven't figured it all out. I'm learning every day through my experiences. And I'm sharing through my experiences, not my experiences as a center, but through my work. But one of the things that is really subtle and easy to miss is that the energy that we walk out into the world with, right, is a projection of how we think. Because how we think, how we perceive things, how we perceive a situation
creates our reality.
It creates our reality. So if we feel like nobody loves me, they never invite me to stuff, I'm always the black sheep, we have that narrative already running, and then we're surprised by the outcome when we are excluded. But the narrative has happened here. We've bought in to that lack or that rejection or that victimhood.
It's an internal narrative.
It's an internal narrative, right. It's an internal conversation that is running constantly between you and you.
That's just the most chaotic one that goes on in the system.
Right. And by the way, how we exist, there are many parts, there are different roles and characters that aspects of us play. And these different aspects of us, we have a protector, we have a nurturer, we have a supervisor kind of part. We have all these parts within us that help us exist, that help us live the life of balance and safety. So that inner conversation, that inner dialogue is happening within these parts of us. So the part of us that might have been victimized by something or doesn't like the way something happened, and it's like, that always happens. That always happens. I keep using the victim example because that's really common. If this doesn't resonate with you, don't even pay it any mind. But it's just important that we are aware of how we're framing what has happened to us so that we take our power. We're not a victim of it. We're not at the cause of it. We are in a position of power where we say, well, even though I've been in a lot of accidents, even though I have been in a lot of relationships and none of them have worked out, and this is a little piece from EFT I want to share here. By the way, if you are on my TikTok page, The Alchemist Poet, you can go down into my content and I have some videos on EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, which is a powerful tool you can use to break out of these emotional stuck patterns. But using the example of being in a lot of accidents or relationship issues or even abusive issues, you can use this little line, even though...
And I think I just want to chime in to let people know here that don't know what EFT is. Like, I didn't know what EFT was too long ago, and it's kind of interesting. So what NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, teaches us is that emotions are stored in our subconscious, okay? And in order for us to release these stored emotions, EFT is a tapping method that essentially targets points of acupuncture points,
energy points in our body system,
in our body system while discussing and targeting whatever the issue is at hand that we're trying to work through.
Right.
So it's wild. I actually just tried it for the first time yesterday and feeling the stuck energy like come through me. It's like I didn't realize the energy was stuck in me until I got to the third round, and then just like tears started flowing out of my eyes, and like energy was in motion. My emotions were moving.
Yes,
so
stuck emotions, by the way.
Stuck emotions, ones that like, honestly, I didn't even want to read the script. I didn't want to come to terms with like what I needed to face, but by like tapping on it, it just worked. It works. Like released the emotions, and if you're in a place where you're like I could just try anything at this point. Well, try EFT tapping, because
yes.
I don't know much about it yet. I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who tried it yesterday, and it worked for me. So.
Yes. So the key line in EFT is, even though blank, whatever the situation, the stressor is, I still love and accept myself completely. Okay, so whatever it is that's been happening, you can use that line. And, so you can look online, you can Google EFT tapping. There are pictures of the tapping points. If you're on TikTok, I'm talking to all three cameras going here. Go to Thealchemistpoet, scroll down, and you'll see some videos on my page. It's about 3 or 4 videos where I explain it and I show it. It is powerful. I learned that technique probably about 20 years ago. But I didn't, it's
Sonia is ahead of our time. Let me tell you, when I found this healer, she is on another level. If you are in the Atlanta area, Atlanta area, even if you're a couple hours away.
And I do virtual too, so.
Yeah, I highly recommend working with Sonia. She will shift your entire reality for the better.
Oh my. That's a lot of high expectations.
No pressure.
No pressure. But I love you guys. I don't know all of you. I don't know most of you, but I love you because I feel like there's so much wellness. There's so much joy to life to be had. We don't need to be carrying our faces long and miserable all the time. Shit happens, but we can work through it. Okay, EFT. Even though I'm going through this really difficult situation right now, maybe I can't pay bills, maybe I've been wrecked, maybe I've been whatever. It doesn't matter. Our body's energy system, our subconscious does not know the date. It is not attached to the date. It is attached to where you've stored that information within your energy system, within your physical body. Just because it happened when you were 5 or 15 or 50 or 85, your energy system retains it if we don't consciously, if we're not aware of it, or we're aware of it and we suppress it or we ignore it. Okay? So you tap on the points, you say the thing, even though blah, 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 blah. And then you can talk about how you feel because of this thing. Even though it hurt my feelings that I wasn't included, even though this always happens to me, I still love and accept myself, because the self does not record the message that it is loved and accepted or wanted. The self, because of our ego, because of our society, because of our cultural backdrop, it doesn't matter where you are, the self just wants to be loved and accepted, and it cannot happen anywhere else.
Who feels that deeply in their soul that they just want to be loved and accepted? Can you comment below and let us know?
It won't happen anywhere externally outside of you the way you totally fully want it until you get it to yourself. So I'm gonna just deviate a little bit here for the religious folk or the Christian folk or anybody who knows about Jesus. Yes, I do.
Raise your hand. Do you know
his main message, if you don't know anything about him, is love thy neighbor as yourself. That was what he existed on earth to teach us. But the part where everybody stops short is love thy neighbor, love thy neighbor, love thy neighbor. What about the self? Love the self. Accept the self. We have shortcomings, we have bodies, we have wantings, we have needs. Sometimes we're overwhelmed, we make mistakes. It's okay, okay? So let's just calm down. A lot of us Christians, post-Christians, religious, we tend to be so oh my God. Let's just start to accept ourselves and extend that compassion to ourselves. Forgive ourselves for our shortcomings. And it will be easier to forgive others and to love on others. Okay? So I'm sorry I went on a little tangent there, but I feel like it was needed.
It was needed. Yeah. Nobody's going to love you the way that you can love yourself. Not your husband, not your kids, not your mother, not your father. I'm Tina Roots, and I'm here to tell you that today.
And I second that.
Awesome. Awesome.
So one other thing I want to share, and this is just an observation. And after doing many, many sessions, hypnotherapy sessions, Reiki sessions, coaching sessions with clients, with people, and I have also I've received those from other practitioners as well. One of the things that I really have learned and understood is that the expectation for another human being to totally be able to provide and satisfy our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical needs is an unrealistic expectation.
Woo!
It can't, because they themselves have their own needs. Their soul has its own goal on this earth in this lifetime. It has its own purpose. That has nothing to do with you. Woo! Like, they're living their life, okay? So give them that space. Give yourself that space. Give yourself that accommodation just to say, it's okay, I might not like the way this person is treating me, but what am I going to do about it? That's empowering to me. What's going to nurture you in spite of that situation? So
what is something that you do when you're in those situations and you need to feel that love for yourself? Give us some practical ways to come back to yourself.
So some practical ways. The first thing is I will sit with what is coming up.
Without reacting on it.
I mean, sometimes I'll react, but I've started shifting because I was very reactive. I was very reactive. You know, I think a lot of us are very reactive. Some of us react through anger or lashing out. Some of us react by doing the opposite thing and being rebellious. Some of us react by self-medicating and using alcohol or drugs. Some of us react by becoming hypersexual. It depends on what's going on.
I think, like, everything you're saying, I want to raise my hand because I've been there and reacted like that.
But some of us also go inward.
Fine if you feel the same way.
It's okay. I mean, you're here, you're alive, and you're on this live or watching this later, so...
For a reason.
For a reason.
For a reason. You have showed up here for a reason.
So, so there are other ways people react. We go in, and I was one who would go in. I would just quiet down. I would get moody. So with my family, with my husband and kids, I realized that I would lash out more with them. We tend to lash out more with our immediate people, and then the people who are outside of that, we don't really lash out as much. But we're still angry or upset or hurt or whatever the case might be. So you asked the question, what are some practical things? I think the first thing...
I just want to ask anybody here today, like, who is guilty of that? Who feels like they lash out more with their family, with their mom, dad, siblings, than people outside, like their friend groups, acquaintances? I'm like best friends with my acquaintances. My family, though, I don't show them the love I need to, and I want to say this out loud on the live so everyone knows that I am aware of that.
And she's working on it.
And I'm working on it. Awesome, thank you.
Yes, no, thank you for that question. So some practical things that I do is I really sit with what's coming up. And I've been able to do that more because I meditate more. I actually make time to just quiet down, and I spend more time in reflective situations. So not necessarily just sitting in a perfectly quiet place, meditation, but I do things more mindfully. So I love to garden, pulling weeds, stuff like that would be opportunities for me to process what's happening. But in the moment, I sit with what's coming up. Am I feeling rejected? Am I feeling not included? Am I feeling unwanted? Am I feeling unsupported? first and foremost, sit with what's coming up. Don't brush it aside. Don't ignore it, because that is your self. That is your self saying, hey, something is happening over here. We're not fulfilled. We're in a vacuum. We're in a void. Something is happening. So listen to those emotions that come up. Do not block them out. Do not ignore them. And if we are taking the time to be meditating a little bit, mindfulness a little bit or a lot, you'll start getting into that almost automatically, getting into that self-reflection. I've read and I've heard many of my teachers over the years say, before you go to bed, before you fall asleep, please make some time to just sit in silence or process your day. What happened, just general things through your day. Situations, I could have. Oh, this is what they said. Process just for a little bit. And it's almost like you're observing the things, right? And then you can go, wow, this emotion came up. That emotion came up. Oh, this always comes up. Oh, then you'll start to notice the patterns. You start to notice the patterns. So that's something I've refined over the years. But what I do right now, if something is really, really intense, it's really, really like I can't even think of anything else, I'm really hurting, I'm really in pain, or I'm really stressed, I do EFT. Emotional freedom tapping, yes. If I need to go into the bathroom, I go into the bathroom. 5 minutes, I'll go tap.
Really?
I'll go tap. And
all the modalities and things you learned, that's what you turn to? That's
when I am most affected at that time.
So in the moment when you're being affected, you will tap on it?
I will tap on it. I tune in. I mean, sometimes things are happening too quickly for you to really do that. But I've been working on this now for some time. I've done a lot of work. I've done therapy. I've had Reiki. Cool. I get massages regularly. These are all ways I nourish and nurture my body. And I learned and understood my shadows. Make friends with your shadows. Make friends with your shadows. Make friends with your shadows. Put the light of awareness into those dark corners. Turn on the flashlight into those dark corners. They are there to be understood, acknowledged, and accepted. Remember, our theme is self-acceptance. Ooh. Nobody said it was easy, but you can do it.
I want you guys to know one thing that's been coming up for me. Like, she's like well ahead on her journey, has been shining flashlights on her shadows for a decade now. Some of this is new for some of us, and where was I going with that? Well, I just wanted to let you know that the stuff will come up and it will feel uncomfortable. One thing that's been very important for me that I'm learning right now is behavioral flexibility. Like, I just ignored the word behavioral flexibility from my life, I guess, is what I'm realizing until this year. And I had to be willing to be flexible in my behavior to shine a light on these shadows. Like, if I just shined a light on these shadows without shifting my behavior and being flexible, I wouldn't have been able to do this work. So I really want to make sure that you understand for yourself and for me how important it is to allow yourself to be flexible, allow your behaviors to be flexible, allow yourself to change and adapt to new ways of thinking, being, seeing, and existing for the greater good of all.
Yes, yes.
That's all.
Yes, so I'm just getting this example. This is a personal example from my life. And it's something that's been kind of recent in the last few months. This is an example of reacting in the moment. So I like taking care of my family. I like to cook. I like to be there. And I work a lot. So I'm not always there like 24/7. I don't want to be 24/7, but I like to be present. I like to make dinner or have dinner stuff ready. So this one evening, I'm getting ready to go do a sound bath. And I put stuff in the sound bath, in the crock pot. I did some chicken and potatoes and veggies, and the girls are home. I'm like, hey, turn off the stove, and just unplug the crock pot in an hour. And I know my husband will be home a little bit after that hour, like in an hour and a half, right? And I said, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call my daughter and say, hey, make sure you turn off or unplug the crock pot, right? So they have dinner, because I won't get home till like 9:30 or something. So a quarter till the hour, I should have called her and said, hey, can you make sure you've unplugged it? Because I'd already told her before leaving, but I wanted to make sure it was done. But when I talked with her at that quarter to the hour, I said, well, I turned it really low. It's just gonna simmer, and he'll be home within like 30 minutes from now, so it'll be fine. So I didn't say, make sure you unplug it. I said, just leave it on. It's on low. It'll be fine. Well, by the time he gets home, it wasn't turned off or unplugged. The food had cooked completely. The chicken had fallen apart. It was shredded. The potatoes were too soft. It was just a mushy mess. Delicious, but mushy mess. So, and a lot of the water had dried up. Now, if you've cooked stuff in a crock pot, it's important that the juices remain with the thing. So I get home at whatever time I get home, and I'm like, oh, how's everybody? The kids are finishing homework or whatever. And I was like, oh, how was dinner? Did you guys eat? And he goes, well, it was burnt, and everything was kind of dried up, and the potatoes were mush, the chicken was... So basically, they didn't really eat or they ate a little bit, but it wasn't received the way I intended. Okay, so my expectation of them being nourished and fed and blah, blah, blah with this delicious meal did not get met the way I expected. On the other hand, they didn't enjoy it that much or whatever, and ended up eating like there were leftovers and little plates and stuff. So I get home, I'm immediately irritated. Because they didn't eat or they didn't enjoy it. And I'm irritated mostly at myself for not saying, unplug it. I should have had her unplug it. Okay. And so I'm kind of storming around, not really hard, but I'm irritated. And I'm like, so my husband asked me, he says, after maybe about 30 minutes or so fidgeting around, he goes, did something happen? Why are you so angry? Like, what's going on? And every now and then my kids will ask me, like, Mommy, what's wrong? You look you're yelling. I do. And I said, so when he asked that question, I immediately went, oh, I am taking it kind of being cranky with everybody. It's not their fault that the food didn't turn out the way we wanted. So the way I wanted. So I said, I'm sorry. I really was hoping y'all would eat this and enjoy it. It didn't turn out the way I wanted. And him asking that question brought my awareness to it. And so in that moment, I immediately deflated and I said, I'm sorry. I just had different hopes for this food. That's a real life example. And the frustration and irritation that I would have now been carrying into my going to sleep was diffused. It was done. But if I always had this background irritation, this narrative constantly running in the back of my mind, this situation will only add to it to confirm it. And then the next day, something will for sure happen that will keep confirming what I'm thinking and believing.
I feel that.
So, we talked a lot here. And I've been trying to respond to comments. I'm sorry, they're coming in so fast that I can't catch all of them. Hi. If you're enjoying this conversation, please be sure to like and follow our pages.
Yes.
Roots of Wisdom
on IG. Roots of Wisdom with a Z. All of the roots have a Z. And
Roots Rocks on
IG and on TikTok. We're here with our Roots Rocks community on TikTok, and I'm so happy to have y'all here. Thank you for
And hello again to the Thealchemistpoet community on TikTok, Wellness Vibes Therapy community on IG. Thank you so much for being here. Please put in the comments If this conversation is resonating with you, if you like what this conversation, even if all of it doesn't resonate, what parts of it resonate? What do you want to hear more about and delve into more? Because we're going to be wrapping up our session with a beautiful poem by Tina. And I will be doing some sound healing as well to help integrate what we have processed here today and talked about.
Awesome, because we have talked about a lot and we do need to process this. I just want you guys to know also, if you are here for the sound bath and the sound healing and you have made it to the end of this journey, thank you so much for being here and showing up for yourself today. I want you to know that sound bowls automatically connect us to the 6th dimension. So get ready to upgrade your frequency, because we are tapping into source, we are tapping into love, and we are tapping into light. So take a deep breath and get ready to receive this love, and we are tapping into light. So take a deep breath and get ready to receive this poem and this sound healing that is going to be delivered to you through Sonia.
Thank you. So a couple of things, a little bit of housekeeping before we wrap up or go into the next part, or the part 2. If you're in the Atlanta area, I'm hosting a sound bath, yin yoga and sound bath meditation this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, here at the studio. We have a small studio. It's very intimate. The sessions are powerful. Sandra is going to be leading the yin yoga, and I'm going to be leading the sound bath. It's a 90-minute session. If you're in the Atlanta area, we always host that combo every last Tuesday of the month. These sound baths are also available as virtual sessions, so you can visit my website, wellnessvibestgerapy, and check out energy work services. I offer hypnotherapy, I offer EFT sessions, I offer stuck energy release therapy. If any of these stuck emotions or trapped energies are things you're experiencing or have challenges with, we can work through it. There's a variety of modalities available. There's even Reiki, which is available as a virtual session. I imagine many people on here are not local. If you are local, come visit. If you're not local, visit the website, wellnessvibes.net. We have a lot to offer, and you can reach out to me there, send a message, send an email, find me, message me on any of the platforms that you're currently watching on, and I would love to work with you, support you on your journey to connect with the true self. That is my purpose. That's why I do what I do. And now that I have connected more fully and I continue to integrate my true self more fully every day, I am bursting at the seams to share that with you guys. So, because life is great. Okay,
yes.
I'll stop that.
And if you're not following along on our TikTok pages or our IG pages, then take this opportunity, if this live has brought you into our community, to follow along on our journeys as we enter the age of Aquarius, because things are about to get weird and we are going to lead the way.
Things are about to get weirder, wilder, but also more fun. So let's not get stuck in the fear of the unknown.
Weird is cool, okay? Weird is cool. If someone's telling you it's not, then we need to work on some reprogramming subconscious.
Yes. So it's a wonderful day to be alive and for you to be here. Thank you again for joining us. We're going to go into this deep poetry, meditation, and sound session by yours truly, Tina. Take it away.
Wow, I love how the auras are just lighting up.
I know, the screens keep, it's
light
been doing that. It's
through.
like light codes and energy codes and frequencies are just constantly. Can you pass that bowl?
Cheers to sound bowls and poetry and speaking your truth and self-acceptance. Awesome. So this is a poem that I wrote essentially about my self-acceptance journey. and the path that I walked to essentially get to where I am now. I have loved and lost again, yet my heart, it still beats. I have laid on a hospital bed with no ability to physically touch or speak. Yet in that paralyzed moment, my crying heart, it still beats. I have returned to humanity and gotten lost in my sins, maybe one time too many. Yet my heart, it still beats. I have chased false dreams until my body decided one day to just freeze. Yet in that moment, my beautiful heart, it still beats. I have seen the light and paused to breathe. I've had anger raging so deep in my being that there was only darkness to be seen. I've met angels on earth and then again in my dreams. I've met God inside of me and every living being that I meet. I've lost myself a few times and I've taken drugs to numb myself to sleep. I've lost some friends and left some lovers crying on their knees. I've shut the world out and locked myself in my room to weep, but have no pity on me, I ask, for my life-filled heart, it still beats. light coming in from the central sun, grounding you into the core of Mother Earth. I want you to just visualize yourself walking on a field of grass, the most moist, beautiful, luscious, green grass you have ever seen. Just envision yourself here in the most beautiful land, walking towards the most ancient tree that you have ever seen. As you come upon this tree, I want you to just visualize yourself breathing in light coming down, pouring into you from the sun, into your crown, going through your chronic tube and grounding you into Mother Earth. Feel your light going out below you and grounding you. Feel it going deeper and deeper through the dirt, through all of the crystal caves under the ground that we're not seeing. I want you to just visualize your roots going even deeper now. Deeper and deeper. I want you to visualize your cords connecting to a crystal, a beautiful rose quartz crystal at the core of the earth. Visualize yourself tying your cords around this crystal and weaving your cords into the light grids of Mother Earth. I want you to just visualize yourself or your higher self just tugging on these cords and grounding yourself even deeper. Beautiful. Feel what it feels like to be so firmly planted in yourself, in your heart, in your core. I want you to just breathe in through your nose and just visualize the light expanding within you in all directions as you breathe out. There are no rules to this. Whatever works for you, works for you. So just feel it and allow yourself to be intuitively guided and just trust what is coming up for you. Because what is coming up for you is exactly what you need in this moment. Feel your back getting lighter. Feel your chest getting lighter as you exhale this light through all of your cells.
close of our sound meditation, I'd like for you to take a moment and call back all the fragments of yourself that have been left in situations, that have been left in circumstances that have happened to you, where you felt rejected, unwanted, unloved, violated, abandoned, less than. See all those situations that took away your light, situations where we thought we had to give that up, we had to surrender a part of ourselves that was so vital. I want you to see all those pieces like shattered glass lift up from wherever and whatever timeline in your life, even if it wasn't in this lifetime, even if you weren't aware of it. See all those fragments of yourself, your self-love, your self-acceptance. Ask those pieces to return back to you. Open your hands, open your heart, and call those pieces, call your power back to you. It doesn't matter what age you were. It doesn't matter who caused it or if you caused it. Call those pieces back to you now. And allow them to integrate back fully into your light, into your heart, into every cell, every part of you that was lost without those pieces. Welcomes it back down. Allow these words to swell up within your mind and your heart. I completely and fully love and accept myself just as I am. And I allow myself to make mistakes. Allow others, forgive others for their imperfections. I forgive myself for my imperfections. I still love and unconditionally accept myself. Seal that into your heart and into your mind now. And so it is. Take a few deep breaths. Integrating all those pieces, you might feel the chills, the shivers, heat, energy rushing through you.
Take it on.
Shake it. Soak it in. Receive it. It is yours. You deserve it.
Woo. My ability to respond is my responsibility.
Yes. Ooh, I love that. Say that again.
My ability to respond is my responsibility. And Sadhguru taught me that in engineering, and it really resonated as we called our soul fragments back. I was like, ooh, my ability to respond to everything is my responsibility and no one else's. And when that clicked for me, I was able to take my power back.
Yes. Take it. It is yours. Take it. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We didn't know where this was going to go quite. And I love where it went. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be doing this again. This is going to be happening. So be on the lookout. Thank you. Please share this video, share this live once we post it with your friends. You can come back and listen to it. It's going to be on our respective pages. Also on the Thealchemistpoet YouTube page, I will be posting it there so you can listen to it. This could be a meditation for you. And I think we're going to clip the sound, the poetry and sound piece at the end and create a separate piece there so you can just enjoy that part if you want to only listen to that. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you for showing up
for yourself and with us.
Yes, I love you for being alive in this body that you have. Thank you for the contribution you bring to this world, no matter how small or large. And we'll see you again soon.
We will see you soon. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Have a good day. Bye. Where do I end?
Bye, y'all. Love you. Mwah.
Yes. Okay, so where do I end the live?
Oh, wow. I'm like, how do I say?
Okay, bear with me. I'm trying to figure out where to end the live.
Right here. I got
Is it on more? Oh, there it is.